All right, we'll start off with Jen Hale, followed by Todd Graffinini.
Coach, starting with that second quarter, what would you have liked to have seen differently defensively out of this team?
Maybe to guard somebody. I would say it starts with running back defensively. Our transition defense in the second quarter was horrendous. Very slow getting back, didn't get matched up. I just thought they really outworked us, and then we got broken down off the dribble, which created open threes. Yeah, there really wasn't anything Jen, that we did well defensively there. I thought they, in that second quarter, played a lot harder than we did, fought a lot harder than we did at both ends of the floor. I mean, they were just the tougher, more competitive team tonight. I think anybody in our locker room who's being honest would admit that, and that's disappointing, obviously.
Zion was a bright spot in that third quarter, really provided a spark on both sides of the ball. Did you say something to him specifically, or did he take that on himself and just find his rhythm in that quarter?
I mean, Zion's just a really good player, and he's hard to guard, and, he went on the attack. I mean, he didn't really do anything that we don't see almost every night. So, I don't really think there was anything different there. He's just very good.
Coach, can you put your finger on why the team has these issues in certain quarters? Again, last night it was the third, tonight it was the second, which seems to be one every game where, just as you mentioned, you're not getting any stops.
Yeah, look, we've been on a pretty steady defensive decline, since the sixth or seventh game of the season, and it's frustrating to me because it's a big part of my job is to, or at least the way I looked at this job coming in, a big part of my job was to try to get us to improve at the defensive end of the floor. And I thought we came out of camp guarding at a pretty high level, especially for early in the season. And the level that we're guarding at now is it's not acceptable. And as a coach, I mean, I look at that and take a lot of responsibility for that. So it drives me crazy. Now our players have to take a lot of responsibility for that too. We just need a much different. And I've said this to you guys, 10 straight games, 11 straight games. We need a whole different defensive disposition and mindset. I mean, we just do. To keep the ball in front of us, to fight, to make shots more difficult. We just need to be a lot different than we are.
Yeah, you had a 22-point deficit. You did get it down to 9 in the third quarter, so you made a run, and then the flagrant foul call on Jackson Hayes. Did you get any explanation? Because that was a 5-point trip, and that really kind of swung the momentum back the other way.
Yeah, they just said, he slides under him, dangerous play. I mean, that's the way the NBA calls it now. So my guess is that the way that the league wants it called, it was probably the right call, and it was tough. But when you put yourself in big holes, then one thing like that ends up making a big difference. And after that, we just really weren't able to make any run after that. Our guys came out of the locker room third quarter as a positive, I thought, and fought and got it back into a manageable number. So I thought that was good. But obviously we just don't sustain good defensive play, especially, but good play for longer periods of time. I mean, between the second half last night, the first half tonight, we gave up 156 points. I mean, look, you're going to have to make 21 threes to have a chance on those nights. And that's where we're leaving ourselves right now, is our game is totally dependent on our ability to shoot the ball. That's going to be hard to win on any kind of consistent basis if you can't win with your defense, if you can't win by taking care of the ball and by rebounding the ball. If to me, defend, rebound, take care of the ball, and 90% of the time you'll at least have a chance. coming down at the end, and we're not defending, and we're sporadically taking care of the ball. Well, it's going to be hard to get any kind of consistency. It just is.
Hey Stan, is there any sense of the severity of Steven's issue with his calf?
No, I mean he just has calf tightness. So I don't think that's severe, but it'll be day to day. I mean, it was bothering him, so he didn't go back in the game. We'll just have to see. After a back-to-back, tomorrow will be an off day from practice, and he'll come in and get treatment and the whole thing, and then we'll when we come in on Monday morning, we'll see how he is.
Hey, Stan, Scott Kushner with Miller.com. Just two quick questions, personnel rotation-wise. JJ once again did not play. Curious as to why that occurred. And then, is there any thought of getting Kyra Lewis bumped up in the rotation so it seems like he's taking advantage of the minutes given to him when the rest of your guards have been a little up and down?
Two good questions, Scott. On JJ, our guards had played so well last night. We decided to go with that same rotation again, and then obviously as we got later in the game, I wasn't going to throw him in there at that point. With Kyra, absolutely, I think it's sort of on the top of everyone's mind on our staff and people watching. It is difficult because Lonzo's a point guard, Bled's a point guard playing the 2, Kyra's a point guard, and Nikhil's a combo guard. So we've got a lot of guys at the same spots, but every time Kyra's gotten any kind of opportunity, he's looked good doing it. He's pretty much a pure point guard. He has a nice pace to his game. As I've said, the only things right now that Kyra needs to do is get from like 160 pounds to maybe 175, and get from 19 years old to 20 or 21. He's just so young, but he does so many good things. And yes, trying to figure out how we throw him into that rotation is something that we're definitely thinking about.
Is that as well from the Athletic? Like you mentioned, you talked a whole bunch after these games about defensive, disposition, about just the way guys are carrying themselves out there on the court. What do you think is kind of preventing that message from getting through to the guys up to this point?
Well, I don't think it's a matter of message. I think everyone in the locker room could tell you what the message is. I don't think it's the message. I think it's habits and disposition, and we need a greater focus on that really being important, and it's not there, and it's up to me to find it. Whether it's finding other people or whatever it is, we've got to find a defensive disposition and a toughness that we currently don't have for long enough periods. There are times where you see us defend pretty well, but certainly not long enough.
Stan, the few minutes that we get to see Kyra out there on the floor, it just, I guess the word that comes to mind is unfazed. Is that a fair thing to say, unfazed? And obviously we don't get to watch practice. Do you see something similar in practice?
Yeah, and again, we don't do a lot of live work in practice now, maybe 15, 20 minutes a day. You just don't get many opportunities. And we're going to get fewer going forward. We're playing 6 games in 9 days, and then we get 2 days off and play 6 games in 9 days again, and then we end the first half playing 6 games in 9 days. So we got 6 back-to-backs in 5 weeks. Not complaining. Everybody's going through the whole thing. What I'm saying is, in terms of practice time and what we see in practice, we don't see a lot. But yes, what we do see and my impression of him is exactly the same. I don't think he's fazed by anything. I think he's got great confidence. I like everything I see in Kyra. Haven't seen anything I don't like.
We're all set. Thanks, Coach.
Okay.
Zion's coming up next. If you guys can get your hands raised, that'd be great.
Oh, sorry, man, I'm looking short. Especially after these games.
All right, we'll start off with Christian Clark.
Zion, the phrase that keeps coming up with Stan is defensive disposition. Just, a lot of games lately. Just why, I guess, do you think that's, not sinking in or translating to the game?
Honestly, it's one thing if a team is hitting shots, but when they're playing harder than us and hitting shots, we're not even giving ourselves a chance, and we can't give up both like that.
What's up, Z? This is Will from The Athletic. I'm sure it was a number of things, but what do you think really went wrong in that second quarter that would be interesting about away from you guys?
Like I said, when they're playing harder than us and hitting shots, not even giving ourselves a chance. Simple as that.
Zion Scott from NOLA.com. Are you surprised how many of these games have gotten lopsided, these losses, that it's not just, possession here or there at the end, but that you guys are down 15, 20 points as often as you are?
Yeah, I am a little surprised, but, at the end of the day, we can't think about that after the game. We just got to learn from it and try to get better from it. That's the best thing we can do with that.
I mean, Zion, in your time playing the game, has that ever come up before where you been part of a team that's just not giving itself a chance? And if so, what's kind of, your response in those moments?
Have I ever been a part of a team like that? Yeah, I think I've been a part of maybe one or two teams like that. But at the end of the day, it made me a better competitor. It made me want to, work to get better, and we got to take those losses and just learn from it and get better. That's all you can do from that. We can't complain about it. We just got to get better.
We're all set. Thanks, Zion.
No problem. You guys have a good night.
All right, we have Nikhil Alexander-Walker. Christian, you can start us off.
Hey, Nikhil, second quarter was obviously the difference in that one. Just where do you think the breakdowns defensively occurred?
I think it just like a compound of things. It always starts off small, and you never really notice it. Like 2-3 possessions where it was kind of shaky. Like they might have scored twice in a row, and we might have gotten like a bad shot or not a shot we wanted or a turnover, and they come down and get an easy one. It's just kind of cutting that water off sooner. You don't want to wait till it's this alarming problem and they go on this really big run to kind of amp up. And I feel like I think if we can do that better and cut teams' runs and just pay attention to like little things.
What's up, Nikhil? Something coaches mentioned a couple times after these games is just it's not only execution, but it's just the demeanor out there, the way the guys are approaching defense. Just what do you have to do as a team to kind of address that and fix the problem when it's kind of bigger than just execution?
Just coming together. All 5 guys play defense, so it's just coming together. Don't point fingers, but hold each other accountable at the same time. And it's just like finding that middle ground of it. If there's a breakdown, talking about it right then, communicating it so the next time it doesn't happen. And I think it's just a want to and it's a will. I'm not going to say guys don't want to win, because I do believe we want to win. It's just in times like that, we had to come together to build each other up.
Gil, this is Scott from Miller.com. Are you at all surprised how often these games are getting 15, 20 points, and it's usually, the one quarter, and you guys are not getting down to the last possession or anything like that? These games are going to get lost well before then. Is it surprising? Because I know you guys kind of feel like you're a closer team than that.
I feel like if it's self-inflicted, it shouldn't be a surprise because you know what you're doing. I do believe that we are a capable team of doing good things, and we show flashes of it. It's just that missing piece to the puzzle that we got to find, to where we don't have quarters like that. Today was the second quarter, and just cutting that second quarter out. Maybe if it wasn't a 48-point quarter and just a 32-point quarter, like, that makes a big difference, especially in the game and where we were at. And even just the momentum of things, the way guys are flowing. And we'll figure it out.
We're all set. Thanks, Nikhil.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gil.